I felt it had actually warped my psyche irreversibly. My mind searched in vain for some explanation as to what might be happening to me. Surely I must be dying. I was becoming ever more convinced that this was the end, or even that I'd already died and was entering the dreaming for good. I realized this had to be a dream, and yet I knew I was awake. That left only one option. The world was a dream, not really real at all. A completely directed, constructed plastic dream set made up for me by God and my father and mother, which I feared was now finally irreversibly dissolving. All right now seemed to endlessly repeat the chorus with ever increasing sense of hilarious intensity, and the singer was talking to me, trying to tell me I was alright, and yet at the same time laughing at my weakness of mind. I couldn't for the life of me understand how to interpret the way I was feeling. Everything had this striped, bended appearance as if the world were made of flattened tubes stuck together at the edges. Panic, confusion, and awe were rushing down on me in vast tidal waves as the chorus continued ad nauseum. The video was full of flat tube shapes, and this proved that everything, even what was no TV, was now especially directed at me. In me alone. I changed the channel with the now immensely magical seeming remote control. But everything image that does not sound right. But everything image the huge flat screen displayed contained those flat tube shapes. I didn't want to see any more of those. Give me something without those fucking tubes, I nearly shouted, bursting out laughing as my cat suddenly looked up, startled from her nap. She was looking at me as if I'd lost my mind, which I had. I now came back to sanity enough to know that I was hallucinating, and that my perceptions were being warped by the Salvia. Every TV channel was talking to me, telling me things that I didn't want to understand. Every random phrase held an obvious specific meaning directed at me alone. This had to be a fucking dream. I suddenly couldn't take it and bolted for the front door, mild dizziness and the salvia gravity making quite an effort. Standing up was difficult, so I sank to the floor. Our porch is 7 steps up off the ground, with no roof. The noon summer sun was beating, but filtered through the tall pine trees. I tried to say something like, "What the fucking shit is this?" But my mouth just produced twisted, meaningless mumblings. But I could hear the panic in my own voice. I gave up trying to stand and laying on the bare pine board, rolling from side to side. This went on for only a few moments, I think. I stood up again, now drenched in sweat, and went back inside. The song was unbelievably still going, and the chorus was ecstatically exclaiming how awesome this trip was. But filtered through the tall pine trees, I tried to say something like, "What the fucking shit is this?" But my mouth just produced twisted, meaningless mumblings. But I could hear the panic in my own voice. I gave up trying to stand and lay on the bare pine board, rolling from side to side. This went on for only a few moments, I think. I stood up again, now drenched in sweat, and went back inside. This song was unbelievably still going, and the chorus was ecstatically exclaiming how awesome this trip was. I finally had to agree, feeling utterly crazy, but now starting to enjoy the ride. My mouth was filling with cactus juice tasting saliva, which I swallowed. Thinking this might be my body's effort to flush the drug out of my system, then the next video came on, A Touch of Grey by the Grateful Dead. I knew they were telling me I'd get through this, I'd survive, but the fear was intense. It's a legendary in tone, and I began to sing along.